Hello Taurus, and welcome to your May 2023 reading. So happy birthday, happy solar return to all of your Taurus here. May the light, the enlightenment, the ease, the pleasures of life be on your path and your capacity to grab it for this year to come. So I meditated on your energy and what Spirit wanted to talk to you about. The first card that I have is the Lovers in reverse. So that tells me that at the beginning of the month right now, the Lovers is our capacity to have this balance between our higher self, pineal gland, crown, insight, feminine, masculine. Right brain, left brain, and having this beautiful harmony that elevates us with the sun, But when it's in reverse, that means that there's something that is preventing us from being able to make a decision that could change our future, that would have an inspired decision that would have a big impact. That means there's a disbalance here, either between our feminine or masculine, our incapacity to get that, insight, above insight. We'll see. But you're getting it. You're entering the month like this. But after, I have the Wheel of Fortune. So that tells me that there is this understanding that is going to change things. And then we have the Knight of Pentacle. So that means, the continuation of your growth, of what you've been establishing, growing, expanding, and all of that. Let's see. Under the Lovers in reverse, I have the Queen of Swords. And I have the Pope and the Nine of Swords in reverse. So we're a bit in between. At least the Nine of Swords is in reverse. So that means that the anxiety, the worry is slipping away. But we still haven't found that spiritual insight that would allow us to have that cosmic discernment on a situation. We're trying to perceive it. Queen of Swords. She's upright, so she's trying to see through the sword of truth, but she has a hard time having this inspired truth that then Pope, which often represents Taurus, can use to make as above, so below. Here, the mudra with his hands. He can use to, hold the keys of what will become reality here or not, what will incarnate, the keys of incarnation. So maybe you'll find yourself at the beginning of the month trying to perceive what is in front of you and to understand and know, what can I do about it? What is the solution? What is the options or the decision or that discerning decision that I have to take? Although you see clearly, but and your anxiety is slipping away, which could have been a blocker of seeing the truth. Sometimes we cannot see the truth past our anxieties and our fears. But here the Nine of Swords is in reverse. So we just need that inspired, spiritual inspired, or soul inspired, spirit inspired information that will allow us to be the Pope. Under the Wheel of Fortune, so I guess you're getting it, I have the Ten of Cups in reverse with the King of Swords. He gets the truth. He gets it. And he gets that. And under that I have the Page of Swords. So let's call this month for you the month of enlightenment, because King of Sword, Queen of Sword, Page of Sword. There's this, I get it now. I understand. The Ten of Cups in reverse, this is understanding what is dragging your emotions down. Understanding, because the Ten of Cups in reverse, this is when we have a hard time seeing the beauty in things and being able to actually receive, or having people around us that can give their waters in an equal exchange. That's why we have like a family there. This is when everybody involved has high frequency waters that allows us to be able to have a balanced exchange, 10. So everybody's a 9, and then we're exchanging at the 10. It's in reverse. That's seeing clearly through that. So maybe you're going to see how some people maybe are not in the 10 of Cups with you, or that you have a hard time being able to exchange on that level. There's like an understanding about this. Under our Knight of Pentacles, there we have our Three of Swords in reverse. This is realizing what breaks our heart. And when our heart is broken by swords, that means that it doesn't even have to have a situation per se that is, heartbreakable, that breaks hearts per se. These are beliefs that hurt our heart. So that means I can be in a neutral situation and I'll come out of it with my heart broken. Either because I will have perceived things in a certain way, I will entertain certain types of relationships, I will have make certain kinds of decisions that will bring about clouds and swords in my heart. So we see here that the understanding of that allows the releasing of these swords. And under that I have the 9 of Pentacles, putting you in a much more solid situation. Let's clarify this for you, my Tauruses. All right. I call upon the divine. I call upon the light. I call upon the Holy Spirit. Help me clarify this reading for Tauruses for the month of May 2023. May 2023. Okay. Why is, all right, the Lovers in reverse? I have the Hermit and I have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. There's a decision you have to take about something that has been in your life for a long time, and that at one point wasn't growing anymore. Quite the opposite, it started to implode. If you listen to your inner truth, you know what it is, you know what you have to do. But here I have the 5 of Pentacles and the Chariot. So it's like you know what you have to do that would actually guarantee your movement forward towards your own accomplishment and blooming and movement forward. But here we have the 5 of Pentacles with it. So maybe you have a hard time making this decision because you don't want to be abandoned, or you don't want to abandon. Maybe you're afraid that you're not enough to continue on your own. And if I say this has to go, will it be replaced by something better, or if I have some Five of Pentacles within me, I'll imagine that it's going to be replaced by something worse. And this might block your capacity to make that decision, because there's a bit of leftover fear of not being enough, or not being supported in it, or ending up alone because of that situation. But when you look at it, you have to see that it is already that. And that's why you have to make that decision. Let's look at the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is how we perceive things. We have our Pope in reverse in there. So she is perceiving also maybe a lack of integrity from outside there. A lack of discernment. Here I have the Page of Pentacles with it. She can see the potential, but there needs to be an engagement. And here there's an incapacity of engagement, of solidity. Let's look at that Pope in reverse. So twice the Pope in reverse. So maybe you're noticing this in your life. Here I am in the Four of Swords about this. You're healing from this. You're entering the month being conscious of it. But how do I get rid of it? You need to ignite your own Pope. I'm conscious of what has been going on. I know I have to make a decision. How do I do it? How do I become the Pope? How do I use my spiritual? And see, there it is. And they're both in reverse. So she would be the one, a bit like if we have the Lover's card. Okay? That's the Empress, the Emperor, the High Priestess, and the Pope. All the kings and queens. So now they're like that. So if she is not receiving the spiritual knowledge, inner knowledge of that part of you that already knows everything because it's connected to everything, okay? That's your High Priestess. Passes through the feminine. And that's where your masculine is looking at your feminine so that he knows what to do. He knows what is the right thing. That discernment from Jupiter, okay? And here it is, so that he can do as above, so below, and make the decisions accordingly. But here, we're not sure. We don't know. We're still hurt and healing. The Three of Swords is there on the wall. We're seeing concretely what is happening. We have the Sword of Truth. But we don't know how to get out of it. How to follow that inner voice, because the inner voice is being over, the Five of Pentacles speaking louder than that inner voice. That's why the Lovers is in reverse. Let's look at that Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So we have her that wanted Six of Cups, and here is our 10 of Pentacles, again in reverse. Okay, so this is a long cycle that needs to end. It's like realizing something that was there for so long, but now we can see it. Once we see it, we cannot unsee it. That's the thing with consciousness. You cannot walk back into oblivious, Six of Cups in reverse. There's something about the cups. You're seeing something that has been lingering for a long time, and that is the opposite of unconditional waters. You see how the Six of Cups is sharing these waters that are filled with life, white flowers, purified waters. It's children, because sometimes it calls back to the past. So we can go on to something that was there for a long time. It calls about everything that has to do with the heart chakra. All the sixes are in the heart chakra. And here, same principle of sharing and enjoying water, the living light water. Here, this is noticing something that is not of that nature. Let's look at that King of Swords. What does the King of Swords understand? Because the Wheel of Fortune is going to change that. It is going to change that old pain that you've had maybe since your childhood, that kind of corrupted something that was like an old karma or old situation that was going on for a super long time. That understanding is going to affect that reversed Six of Cups. And here, what does the King of Swords? That means my feminine was perceiving it, but it's my masculine that's going to make the decision. The feminine provides the information, the guidance, the insight, and the masculine with the rational aspect that has the power to enact or act or influence or make decisions in the 3D world. It's through my masculine that I will do it. So the King of Swords, what does he do? He decides to stop juggling here and to move into action. 8 of Wands, but not any action. Here, Page of Wands, 8 of Wands. He decides to move into, I'm not harboring that old 5 of Pentacle anymore, because if I harbor that 5 of Pentacle, I cannot be enthusiastically moving towards the future and trust. And as long as I am juggling, I can never experiment true happiness in a way. There always will be this little questioning within myself. If the 5 of Pentacle, abandonment, not being enough, self-sacrifice and all of that is part of my reality, how can I experiment through bliss and enjoy with others? It's almost impossible. Maybe I can, lure it a little bit, but it cannot be sustainable. 8 of Wands, this is when we're starting. We understand something. That's why my reality can start changing, and I will bring my fire in a completely different way. Let's look at that Page of Swords, because I understand something and I'm applying it right away. So here, Taurus, that tells me that you're realizing something. Here's the Page of Pentacle for your next cycle. You're realizing something about that 10 of Pentacle, and you're acting upon it right away. Page of Sword. Okay. So, understanding 5 of Wands, King of Wands in reverse. And here I have the Knight of Wands. So, you're understanding it this month, not quite ready to act upon it in a decisive, but more of a, not that the Knight of Swords is very diplomatic, but he won't make any errors. So I would tell you this month, when you're going to see the unbalanced situation, and here on the 5 of Wands and the King of Wands in reverse, it's like understanding how other people are using their willpower, okay? Their fire, their will, their fire. King of Wands in reverse can be very narcissist, okay? Can be very my wants, my needs. I am imposing my person and creating conflict. You understand that. You're not quite ready to be a Knight of Sword, or maybe you're going to express it a bit harshly, or somebody's expressing it to you a bit harshly. But here, I prefer to see this as you are in control, because we're talking about you. So watch your word, because you're going to understand it. But maybe more towards the end of the month, you will not be speaking from a wounded place, but from a wisdom place. And that's going to have a much different impact. Okay? But first, you're going to decide to move, be into action, get yourself away from this distortion. Knight of Pentacle. Oh, all right. Ace of Cup. And here we have the World and the Ace of Pentacle. This realization really helps you to close an old period of your life, an old cycle, and start the next one. With the Ace of Cup, to be able to start your next cycle of cups, because it was starting to implode, okay? In a sense, like, where are the moments of joy and peace and love that I'm supposed to experiment on a daily basis here? And also, where's my security, my growth of the Ten of Pentacles? Three of Swords in reverse. So the beliefs that used to prevent me from being able to have a light heart are slipping away after that. Seven of Wands in reverse and Nine of Wands in reverse. And here we have the Three of Pentacles. So right away, this is like, okay, I'm not resisting it anymore. I'm not, because here, this is like having to always stand your point, having to defend yourself, not feeling that others are there to cheer with you, but more to have their way, okay? Hint, him. And then Nine of Wands, this is like, this is so much my reality that I am constantly withholding this energy, because wands are energy, fire energy. So imagine this guy energetically is having this tower of fire around him to protect him. And how does he put that wall of fire to protect himself? By having the notion and reminding himself of every time he was hurt. Unconsciously, we are energetically putting a wall, because that means this world is a world that can hurt me. So I'm going to walk around with this wall of fire. But the cost of this, at one point, becomes very hefty. So when we decide to pull down the wall, because it's not a question of trusting more the world outside. Yes, there will always be sharks and narcissists and whatever, okay? It's a question of trusting ourselves in our capacity to have the insight and the capacity to act upon it into what I will allow in my life or not, with the discernment and the perception of a Queen of Swords and a Pope. No King of Wands in reverse will even think of approaching this. So the belief that it's just that, or that you deserve that, or that you're not enough to walk in a world where this is not what you're confronting, these beliefs that hurt your heart all the time will be able to be released, so that you can start using your masculine energy, what that means, what you put out there, in a building manner of what is the reality I want to create. Nine of Pentacles. We are releasing the fear. There's a lot of fear releasing here that I see. And so you're going to release the fear when you're going to empower your masculine. And empowering your masculine, you have to connect him to your feminine so that he knows what he's doing. So, Taurus, for this, I think it's a big releasing fears, seeing things for what they are, and knowing that you have the power to act upon it. So it's recuperating power in that process. So for some of you, it's going to be a big decision this month, like literally making a decision. Others of you, that decision is more in the within yourself of how you're going to bring your energy. There's the end of a cycle, that's for sure. And it is your solar return on top of it, so there's no doubt here. I'm going to call this new power, new cycle, because this is what is happening during the month. So on this, my beautiful Tauruses, thank you for watching, sharing, commenting. If you want a private reading, there's the description below. There's the website. You go on it and you book yourself. The booking is always only 1 month in advance. So if you don't see any availabilities, go on later during the month. Every day there's a new day opening. And thank you for the ones of you who gave donations. It helps more than you think. And of course, I think about you and ask the divine to give you back when I do my ceremonies on the new moons and the full moons and so on. So on this, my beautiful Tauruses, happy birthday again, all my love and light, and I'll see you next month. All right, bye-bye.